It's the Miranda Holmes Morning Pittsburgh Sports Report. Guy Junker, Ken Laird. Could be a big difference at the bye week, Guy, with a 2-game winning streak and being 2-1 record-wise for the Steelers, or suffering an upset defeat on the road at Oakland and being 1-2. Keys to the game this weekend for the Steelers. Let's start on offense to prevent that loss from happening. What do Ben Roethlisberger and the boys need to do?
Pick on the Raiders secondary, Ken. I think that it is so banged up right now that it's ripe for the pick, and you got it. I mean, they haven't run the ball that well to begin with. You'd like to see some improvement there. Is that going to happen overnight? Is that going to happen without Rashard Mendenhall coming back? I'm not sure. I'd like to see some improvement, but I don't think that's the key. I think if Ben has a big day throwing the football, that this team is right to be taken. I mean, they're corner. They don't even know who's going to play cornerback on Sunday.
Yep, and I think the no huddle has got to be a part of that this week. It's strange. They didn't use it at home where the home crowd is in their favor, and you would think crowd noise affects that, calling different things at the line of scrimmage, but it's not really so much a hurry-up as it's more of the old Peyton Manning muddle huddle and just keeping the defense from substituting much. So I think that's right. 3 receivers will be the big package this week. The Raiders do have a pretty good front. They'll run some, but I don't think they're going to have a ton of success with Redmond, and Dwyer is still a little banged up.
Yeah, their no huddle against Denver wasn't to speed up. I mean, the time of possession was still good. They let the play clock up, but it did not allow Denver to make substitutions, situational substitutions. So it's not like a speed up the clock type of thing. And the thing about it is, Ben wants more of it. Haley backed off it on the home game. All I know is they didn't use it in their win. They used it quite a bit in their loss. So there you go.
The Dolphins threw a lot at Joselio Hansen, who was the new corner last week in the starting lineup. They have 2 new starting corners this week. They may actually move a safety down to corner, Michael Huff. So there should be some opportunities for some success there in the passing game. Defensively, what's your key for Dick LeBeau and his group?
Well, I think the Raiders are kind of one-dimensional already, Ken. We've talked a lot about the Steelers' lack of rushing. They have half the yards that the Steelers have run. They're the worst running team in the league. So if you think the Steelers have struggled, the Raiders are twice as bad as the Steelers are running the football right now. So I don't think the Steeler defense, even without James Harrison and Troy Polamalu, can be beaten by a one-dimensional team. I don't think Carson Palmer is the quarterback that he was when he played with the Bengals. I do worry about their speed, though. They got, I think you were with me yesterday when we were talking with Dick LeBeau, and he was talking about, I'm glad we're playing them this week because we prepared for the Wildcat last week with the Jets, and he thinks they're, with McFadden and maybe even Terrell Pryor, that they would be a prime team. You know how Al Davis loves speed. I mean, he drafted guys based on their 40 time for 10 years. So overall team speed offensively and defensively, it's the one thing that scares me a little bit. They do have some of it, but I don't think their offense is balanced enough to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, and Carson Palmer was asking us on the conference call whether Troy Polamalu, his old roommate, was going to play. Doesn't look like he will. I mean, it's not the end of the week just yet, but Carson knows the defense. He doesn't really have to worry about much of a pass rush. Without Troy in there, he knows this team well enough to take some shots deep. I think they'll take a few attacks, more so than Mark Sanchez did. And they may have some success, but you're right, the run game's not been there. Darren McFadden hasn't done much Wildcat there, but he certainly did at Arkansas, and he is fast, so I think it is stopping Darren McFadden. He's their number one weapon, and they get him out in the flat in some curl routes and some wheel routes. So that'll be the guy to watch. You stop McFadden.
Call him the wild hog at Arkansas. I mean, he was in the Heisman running a couple years in a row because of it.
Yeah, and didn't throw much out of it, but didn't matter. I mean, he's just so fast when he gets to the edge.
And their offense, Ken, probably resembles the old. Sometimes you play a team like Oakland, you don't play that much, and it's a different team. Their offense probably resembles the old Bengals offense more than it does the Oakland Raiders because they've implemented a lot of what Cincinnati used to do because Palmer's comfortable with it.
Looks like a Pop Warner offense through 2 weeks, to be honest. But, they should try. So, I mean, they've got nothing to lose.
Just in the back of my head, I think of a lot of trips to Oakland that ended in disappointment. That's the thing that has me worried. It's just I talked with a lot of guys yesterday about the time travel and how much it affects you. And it just, is that the part of the reason they've gone out there and lost when on paper it looked like they were going to win? And they do, they all said it is a little bit different. It does set your body clock off, but they're not going to blame that on it.
And overconfidence and everything else. All right, we'll see. Bye week coming up. Will they get their 2-1 or 1-2? It's the Miranda Holmes Morning Pittsburgh Sports Report with Guy Junker. I'm Ken Laird.